ask you, Sunny, with regards to making friends, we're big on that, on a spiritual injection, finding, an affinity and being open to finding an affinity with, your kinfolk, regardless to appearance. If you could give some guiding principles to people with regards to, building relationships, not just relationships with the unknown, but relationships even in such a climate where they've never even seen anybody like you before, what would those guiding principles be?
I guess I am big on one, cultural humility. There's this term called cultural competence that a lot of people use, and it's used to be, they associate it with understanding the culture. But I hesitate to use cultural competence, because really the people who are competent of a culture are the people in the culture, right? I'm always, going to be incompetent in some ways as it relates to the culture, but I do have cultural humility. And so that means that I'm open and willing to understand the cultural norms of a particular culture or group. It is important, absolutely important, especially for South Korea. There's this thing now, with K-pop, and you have the popularity of K-drama now, that you have what they call Korea boos, and what Korea boos are these people who, they kind of assess Korea based on K-pop and K-drama. And they don't really want to delve into the culture and learn the language and learn the historical value of Korea as a nation, as an entity. And so they come off as disrespectful. And the best way to not create friendships is to come off as a Korea boo. I have a good Korean friend, very, very close. We call each other sisters, and we say that when we become old, we're going to find ourselves in the same senior citizen home, dancing to the same music, as we say. One of the reasons she's my friend is when we first met, she said this to me about a year after our friendship formed, and she said, you are the first Westerner who has never asked me to translate for you. You have never called me to have a document translated. You've never called me to make a call for you. And I was like, why would I? What? And she was like, well, that's how the friendships here, that I've made with Westerners, it's always transactional. And once they leave, and that's it. Now I was like, wow. And I had I didn't see her as my translator. I had people who were my translators, and those were actual translators. And so again, when you're making, and it works to the other side as well. There are Koreans who want to learn the language, and so they try to create friendships based on, I want to learn English from you. And to be honest, those transactional friendships don't last. They just don't last very long. And so I just believe in understanding, or trying to just be culturally humble. And when people see that, I found globally that when people see that you're trying to understand their culture, and you're trying to learn a little bit about the language, and know some of the history, and you make references to leaders of their country or historical figures, they're like, whoa, okay, so you're really interested. And they begin to open the door and invite you in. And I thank God for that friendship, because she's able to tell me. I remember I had a situation at work, and I said, listen, you need to tell me if this is cultural or racist. Like I'm feeling a little bit of racism. And so I explained the situation, and she was like, girl, we do that all the time, and we do it to everybody. So no, it's definitely not you. And you need people, you need those kind of eyes, because again, remember I talked about perspective. Even though I am acutely aware of my American perspective, sometimes it will get in the way of me being able to see what's really going on. And so you sometimes need those people who are more culturally competent to begin to help you through those situations.
Thank you.